Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dan on Sports. Well, here we go. Did the New York Knicks players throw head coach Tom Thibodeau under the bus, leading to his dismissal? Well, according to Yahoo Sports, that's just what happened when the players had their exit interviews with the owner, James Dolan, and the general manager, Leon Rose. The players were very critical of Thibodeau's handling of the team, particularly constantly using the starters. They were, quote unquote, exhausted or something along those lines, right? They're just too tired to play all these minutes. It's interesting where we stand in today's sports world. Really, the tail does wag the dog now more than ever. How players can cost a coach or a manager a job. Incredible. Exit interviews, and the players are throwing Thibodeau under the bus, if we are to believe the Yahoo Sports story. Now, let me add this. I heard one prominent talk show host say that Leon Rose, the general manager, former agent turned Knicks GM, he is the boss of this team, that it's his decision that stands, that he makes all the calls, but he doesn't really need this job, that he obviously has total control, and if he doesn't have total control, he can tell Dolan what to do with the job. He doesn't need it. And that was the premise of him becoming the Knicks GM. He called all the shots. Yeah, he'd have to run some things by Dolan. After all, Dolan is the owner of the team. But if Dolan was going to interfere, then boom, he would leave. That's why I find this story fascinating, that not only Rose was engaged in the exit interviews, but so was Dolan. As a matter of fact, what I find even more interesting from reading the Yahoo Sports story anyway, and they've been known to break a story or two, and I know you're not supposed to believe everything you read on the internet, but Yahoo Sports has a pretty good reputation. Supposedly, Rose sat in on the meeting, but the players did most of the talking to Dolan. I'll link to the story in the notes. But players will sink you. In this day and age, no matter how much money a coach is going to make, and don't feel too sorry for Tom Thibodeau, who's a nice guy and a very good coach, and is very capable, by the way, of leading any team to an NBA championship. That's another thing that's been floated out there. Well, I think it was Leon Rose who said, well, we need a coach who can take the Knicks to the next level. Well, look, Thibodeau is very capable of taking any team to the next level and win an NBA championship. You play the cards you're dealt. And I think Thibodeau did an outstanding job. Heck, the first coach in 25 years to take the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals. And which prognosticator had on their bingo card that the Knicks were going to the NBA Eastern Conference Finals? So, I think in an effort to try and cover themselves by saying Thibodeau did his job and it's time to move on and get that coach who's going to take us to the next level, Thibodeau was very capable of taking the Knicks to the next level. But that said, the point of this story is maybe Rose doesn't have as much power as we have been led to believe. After all, it's Dolan the one who signs the checks. And in the exit interviews, it was Dolan who listened to the players while Rose sat off to the side, and it was the players who really threw Thibodeau under the bus. Now, don't feel too sorry for Coach Thibodeau. He'll latch on with somebody. Plus, the Knicks still owe him another $30 million on his contract. But fascinating story. One other note, too. I'm reading, why don't the Knicks have a new head coach yet? My goodness, Thibodeau, they just fired less than a week ago. So to now say, well, the Knicks are in trouble, they're disorganized, they don't have a new coach yet, is nonsense. If anything, the Knicks are taking their time, and maybe they should. Will it be Jason Kidd? Who knows? Will it be Malone? Who knows? Will it be the assistant coach from the Cavaliers? What is it? Brantley? Who knows? But bottom line is, players in this day and age, as we all know, really call the shots. And they certainly did when it came to Thibodeau complaining in their exit interviews. That's going to do it for Dan on Sports. See you later.